Social media is a pretty vulnerable space to be. We're literally putting ourselves out there, showcasing the parts of ourselves that we want to be liked and accepted and held in a high regard, and then waiting for that to come in. Now, let's talk about what life used to be like before all this stuff rolled in. Before Facebook, Nexopia, yes, I'm dating myself there, High Five, even. Well, basically, we had to rely on very old fashioned ways to know if we were liked. Perhaps it came through the confirmation of how many people showed up to our birthday parties. Maybe it was about how many friends we had in real life, actual friends. Maybe it was about the feeling we got if we received an award or were recognized in our extracurriculars. The thing about back then to now is that external validation, which is what being liked makes us feel, was taking up a lot less space in our psyche than it is now. So before, perhaps we had something called an internal locus of control, where our sense of self worth and identity came from inside of us, our values, our basic traits, and now it's coming from very much outside of us. We're very constantly attuned and paying attention to what the outside world is saying about us. This is really seriously deeply intertwined to our basic wiring because, just as important as food, shelter, water for us to feel okay, because we're social beings, we also need a feeling of love, safety, acceptance, belonging. When the world was a simpler place, these boxes were getting checked off no problem. But now, with the complexities of technology and all these apps, those boxes are a lot harder to check off. So take inventory and note about where you get your sense of confidence and self esteem from. Is it from the outside world? Is it from this little screen you're looking at? Or does it come from a place that's deeper? If we want to take this topic a notch higher, let's talk about the dependency that can sometimes form. When we post something and it gets those likes and it gets those comments, and yes, I am guilty of this too right now as I'm interacting with this world of TikTok. It's forming an actual neural dependence on receiving that validation and feedback. Our endorphins are getting boosted. There's a dopamine hit. It's a literal chemical exchange that's happening. So, this is kind of the same thing we see with addiction. So, maybe we should all think about just how much we are dependent on these little devices, as handy as they are, in the same way that sometimes we can develop dependencies on substance or a habit like overeating or shopping. All these external things that we use in order to feel good about ourselves or to cope, sometimes they get a little maladaptive. It's something to think about. Let me know your thoughts.